It's a very difficult day for us all. At least 50 people are dead. 53 more were wounded when a man armed with a handgun and an assault rifle stormed into Pulse nightclub in Orlando overnight and opened fire. The gunman is among the dead.
The FBI says this is an act of terror and that the suspect, 29-year-old Omar Mateen, was under investigation by the Bureau twice in the past, but those investigations were closed both times. We also just learned that the gunman called 911 from the club. A law enforcement official told the Associated Press that in that call, he professed his allegiance to ISIS. He was not under FBI surveillance at the time of the shooting. Right now, hospitals in that area were working to care for the victims. Many of them, most even, are at Orlando Regional Medical Center. We know at least one victim is from Jacksonville. News4Jax has been with you every step of the way for this breaking news alert today.
We have crews in Orlando, Jacksonville, and Tallahassee working to bring you information. We begin, though, with Channel 4's Tarek Miner, who's live not far from the nightclub. Tarek.
We're just a few blocks away from the Pulse nightclub here in Orlando, really the heart of Orlando on Orange and Grant Streets, where 50 people were shot and killed inside of the nightclub and dozens of other people injured. We are hearing unconfirmed reports that death toll may rise because many of those victims are in intensive care and are being cared for in the hospital. Just to give you a lay of the land here, the people that you see behind me, I mean, hundreds of people out here in this crowd are members of the LGBT community, family and friends of those who were killed, as well as people who really still haven't heard from their loved ones yet. Now, this act of terror and hate committed by 29-year-old Omar Mateen has evoked deep grief, heartache, and a lot of anger here on the streets. According to FBI agents, they are still processing the club. They're also still notifying the next of kin of those who have died. There were 300 people inside Club Pulse when the gunman was met by an off-duty police officer at the door. After a confrontation, the gunman ran into the club with an assault rifle and handgun and started shooting people who had gathered for a Latin party hosted by the LGBT community. The FBI officials say that the gunman called 911 shortly before the terror attack and pledged allegiance to an ISIS leader. We spoke with Senator Marco Rubio, Bill Nelson. We spoke with Governor Rick Scott. They're all urging Floridians not to live in fear, but for those who live in this area, they say that is nearly impossible, not knowing if their loved one is dead or alive.
I know a few people that actually work at the bar, and I have texted them, and I haven't heard from them all day. So it's kind of, what's going on with them too. Did something happen to them?
When you think to yourself that these people that were in this club just went out to have fun with their friends and their family and celebrate different things, and now they're gone. It's hard to fathom. It's hard to think what is in somebody's mind to make them do something like this to people.
Prominent Muslim leaders are also here openly condemning the terrorist act, saying that they're concerned that this puts a strain on the relationships that they've been building. They point out that the shooter's actions are in no way reflective of the true Islamic faith. In fact, one Muslim leader says that the shooter simply lost his mind. Here on the streets, just a lot of pain and grief, a lot of disbelief, people just really coming to grips with the fact that 50 people are dead. And again, that number could very well rise. We're live here in Orlando. I'm Tarek Miner, Channel 4, the local station.
Tarek, are you seeing any memorials set up where you are?
Well, Mary, it's not like a regular, crime scene. The people here are really confused. They don't really know whether or not their loved one is dead or alive. They want to believe that their loved one has made it. We've seen a few flowers, placed on the ground, but folks can't really get that close to the Pulse nightclub. There was a brief moment of silence right at the 6 o'clock hour, but there's a lot of people who just don't know exactly how to grieve quite yet. Mary?
They just must be so stunned. Tarek Miner reporting to us live. Thank you, Tarek.
Yeah.